The morning sun had barely climbed above the city skyline when one careless sentence changed the course of several lives forever. Hundreds of employees watched in uncomfortable silence as a sharply dressed CEO humiliated a tired single father who had arrived only 7 minutes late for an interview. His wrinkled shirt, worn shoes, and exhausted eyes made him look like another desperate man chasing a job he would never get. She assumed he lacked discipline, ambition, and respect for time. What she could never have imagined was that this quiet father carried the one solution capable of saving her dying family business. By sunset, the woman who had mocked him would discover that kindness is never measured by appearance, and hope sometimes walks through the door looking completely ordinary. Before we begin this emotional journey, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with your family and friends, and subscribe to Kindness Tales Journey if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the idea that every person deserves to be judged by their heart instead of their circumstances. Your support helps us continue bringing inspiring stories like this one. It was a bright spring morning, and the business district shimmered under clear blue skies. Glass towers reflected the sunlight while people hurried along the sidewalks carrying coffee cups and briefcases. Inside the headquarters of Hawthorne Dynamics, one of the oldest engineering companies in the country, tension filled every hallway. The company had once been respected across the industry, but years of poor financial decisions, failed investments, and increasing competition had pushed it to the edge of collapse. Investors were losing confidence, suppliers were demanding payment, and thousands of employees feared that every sunrise could be their last working day. At the center of that storm stood 29-year-old CEO Serena Hawthorne. Intelligent, determined, and admired for her confidence, Serena had inherited leadership after her father, Leonard Hawthorne, suffered a serious heart condition that forced him away from the office. She carried enormous pressure on her shoulders every single day. Every meeting brought another crisis. Every phone call carried another disappointment. Although she worked tirelessly to save the company, stress had slowly hardened her heart. She began judging people quickly, believing efficiency mattered more than compassion. Across the city, another morning battle had already been fought before sunrise. 35-year-old Adrian Mercer quietly prepared breakfast in a small apartment for his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. Since losing his wife to illness 3 years earlier, Adrian had become both father and mother. Every morning began before dawn as he packed lunches, braided Lily's hair after watching countless tutorial videos, washed dishes, and walked her to school before searching for temporary work. Despite holding advanced engineering qualifications and years of experience designing industrial energy systems, he had spent months unable to secure stable employment after the company where he worked closed unexpectedly. That morning seemed especially cruel. Just as Adrian was leaving for his interview at Hawthorne Dynamics, Lily's school called to say she had forgotten an important science project. Without hesitation, Adrian turned around, collected the carefully built model from their apartment, and rushed it across town. Watching his daughter smile with relief reminded him why every sacrifice mattered. By the time he boarded another bus toward the interview, traffic had become unusually heavy because of a construction accident blocking the main road. Adrian checked his watch repeatedly, silently praying he would arrive in time. Every passing minute tightened the knot inside his chest. He knew opportunities like this rarely came twice. When he finally entered the impressive glass lobby of Hawthorne Dynamics, the reception area was already crowded with candidates wearing expensive suits. Adrian's breathing was heavy after running from the bus stop. His shirt carried small wrinkles from carrying Lily's backpack earlier that morning, and one sleeve still showed a faint stain from cleaning spilled cereal before leaving home. Unfortunately for Adrian, Serena happened to be walking through the lobby with several senior executives when she noticed him approaching the reception desk. Without asking a single question about his situation, Serena immediately assumed the worst. She believed anyone who truly respected an opportunity would never arrive late. The executives standing beside her exchanged uncomfortable glances as Serena coldly remarked that professionalism began with punctuality and that excuses belonged to people who expected success without discipline. Her words echoed across the polished marble lobby, leaving Adrian standing silently before strangers who suddenly looked at him with pity and judgment. Adrian lowered his eyes. He had experienced humiliation before, but something about this moment hurt differently. He wanted to explain why he was late. He wanted to tell them about Lily, about the forgotten project, about buses delayed by an accident, about months of rejection, and about the promise he made to his daughter that things would soon become better. Instead, he simply apologized with quiet dignity. That unexpected calm unsettled several people watching nearby. There was no anger. No argument. Only quiet acceptance. One elderly receptionist secretly admired the father's composure and gently suggested that the interview panel still had a few minutes available because another applicant had cancelled unexpectedly. Serena reluctantly agreed, mostly because the schedule allowed it. Inside the conference room, Adrian transformed completely. The nervous father from the lobby disappeared. In his place sat an experienced engineer whose understanding of renewable energy systems, manufacturing optimization, and industrial recovery strategies amazed every technical executive present. He analyzed production losses without reading any documents. He identified hidden financial leaks using only summary reports. Most impressively, he proposed a modernization plan capable of reducing operational costs dramatically without laying off employees. The room fell silent. Several senior engineers exchanged astonished looks. One director quietly whispered that the proposal solved problems consultants had failed to address for nearly 2 years. Even Serena struggled to hide her surprise. For the first time that morning, she looked beyond Adrian's worn clothes and exhausted face. She began seeing the professional beneath the hardship. Yet pride prevented her from admitting she had judged him unfairly. Instead, she ended the interview professionally, saying the company would contact him after reviewing all candidates. Adrian thanked everyone politely and left. He expected another rejection. He had grown used to disappointment. Later that afternoon, Leonard Hawthorne unexpectedly visited the office despite his fragile health. Doctors had advised him to rest, but years of building the company made staying home impossible. While Leonard froze. He recognized the name instantly. Years earlier, Adrian had worked for a partner company that collaborated closely with Hawthorne Dynamics. Leonard vividly remembered reading reports praising a young engineer whose innovative designs had prevented a catastrophic equipment failure during a nationwide energy project. That engineer had quietly refused personal recognition, insisting the entire team deserved the credit. Leonard immediately requested every document related to Adrian Mercer. As evening sunlight streamed through the office windows, Leonard carefully studied Adrian's proposals. His hands trembled slightly. Then he looked toward Serena with deep disappointment. He explained that the company had spent millions hiring famous consultants who never truly understood its problems. Meanwhile, the one person capable of rebuilding everything had nearly been dismissed because someone judged him before hearing his story. Serena's confidence disappeared. For the first time in months, she realized how badly stress had changed her. The image of Adrian standing silently in the lobby returned to her mind again and again. She remembered his tired eyes. His respectful apology. His refusal to defend himself by making excuses. Suddenly she understood that true strength often arrives without demanding attention. As the sun slowly descended over the city, Serena quietly requested Adrian's complete employment history. Every document revealed the same pattern. Exceptional leadership. Brilliant technical solutions. Outstanding integrity. Volunteer work mentoring young engineers. Excellent references from former colleagues. Not one complaint. Not one disciplinary issue. Only one heartbreaking explanation for his recent unemployment. He had repeatedly declined jobs requiring constant travel because he refused to leave his young daughter without a parent. That single fact shattered Serena's remaining assumptions. For the first time in years, she realized success meant very little if it caused someone to lose their compassion.